I think the Eric Young cleanse should be him defeating every single contracted talent on their way out. He gets Joe Hendry, beats Joe Hendry. He gets Mike Santana, wins the title at Bound for Glory. Mike Santana's contract's coming to an end, beats Mike Santana, wins the world title. The Hardys at the end of the year, maybe this is the end of their contract. Boom, beats the Hardys, stacks them, smash them. Eric Young until he's the only man left in TNA. It's just Eric Young with a title around his waist doing a tight 60 minutes on the show. And that's the new TV deal on CW. It's an hour show with Eric Young doing comedy. And you know what? He can talk. So it might be more entertaining than the other creative that they have going on right now.
Okay. I don't know if we need an Eric Young comedy hour, but
he'll talk about football and he'll talk about hockey.
Talk about hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, you might actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
It'll be the one show that you'll actually be like, I'm going to cover the Eric Young hour. Because he's going to talk about my team for an hour every week. He's got 32 weeks where he's just talking. Well, every week, every team gets a bit from the NHL. Every team gets an hour set because this man just never stops. He just never stops.
All right, you know what? I'm all for this Eric Young hour now. If he's just going to talk about hockey, I like it. I like it now.
Someone saying TNA on CW. Well, it's not official, but let's face it. If they're going anywhere at this point, that looks like the likeliest candidate. They are really trying to make you feel like they're going to make the announcement at Bound for Glory, but who knows?
Yeah, Carlos Silva's doing the media rounds and talking about the TV deal that may or may not happen, and he said they're on the 30-yard line about to score.
That usually takes a while to score from the 30, and I'm not a big football guy.
You're not even in the red zone.
Why wouldn't you say you're on the 1? This is just like saying we're worth $10 million and basically giving up leverage to any TV negotiating partner. Because once you said what your value is, guess what every partner is going to do? They're going to cut it back. If you think you're worth 10, they're going to offer 8, maybe even 5, depending on your value. Stop letting him speak is really the point.
What is the what's the 30-yard line? Why would you say that? I mean, maybe he's being truthful, in which case then I respect that. But yeah, it's 30-yard line. Like you're not even in the red zone yet. And even if you are in the red zone, that could still lead to a field goal. The defense can hold up, but you haven't moved the ball really at all over these past few months. You know, Tony, at least when Tony was, doing the football analogies, he was always like, we're on the 1, we're on the 5, we're in the red zone. Like he was at least saying we are close here.
Like a guy who owns a damn football team.
The 30-yard line. You got to still make a lot of plays here, buddy. And you got a week to do it. Bound for Glory is next week. You better come up with a big chunk play out there. You better take a shot downfield. We got a double move.
We got a Hail Mary approach coming.
No, not quite a Hail Mary. You don't quite need that, but you got to definitely run like a double move there and get some yardage out of there. You can't be running no draw play. You can't hand the ball off. Dave Canales ass offense. You can't be handing the ball off at the 30-yard line if you're trying to score within the next week. So I don't know what the TV deal is. I know CW may be the thing. But I don't know if that's going to be on like the actual CW network and not like.
No, I think it would be. I think they'll run for CW and take Wednesdays. What's on CW on Wednesdays right now?
I don't think CW has anything. But I mean, this is what I said when the partnership formed, is they were going to run on Wednesdays and everything. I assume it'll be worthwhile. It'll be worthwhile for TNA. Obviously, they're getting a TV deal out of it. That's the goal. That's the plan. That's the hope. But then it ain't like, this TNA invasion ain't exactly set the world on fire. Social media buzz, ratings buzz, anything. It's just a thing that's existing, and some fans are excited, Tommy Dreamer, and everybody else is like, this kind of sucks. And if you're CW and you're looking at it and you're seeing, like, you're kind of seeing the NXT numbers go down because since the TNA inclusion
Oh, I've
with
been
everything.
saying that. People didn't want to hear those words. You want to talk about takes that are too hot and you don't want to put it. So I put it out there and I immediately muted this tweet. It was, boy, for an invasion or something like that. The TNA talent love posing with pictures of the WWE.
Yeah, I saw
logo.
people got mad at you about that.
Did they? Because I immediately muted that tweet. I was like, I know what I'm doing and I'm just walking away from this bomb. But tell me in kayfabe why they're taking photos with the WWE sign. Suddenly they're all pally pal, but it's so obnoxious that they keep taking photos with the damn signs.
Yeah, I saw people get mad at you. I was like, oh, Joel, poor guy.
Oh no, I haven't seen shit from it.
Okay, I won't say anything.
And the only person who knows, or the only way people know that I muted that tweet is if you go to our pal Matt Black, who retweeted it, and underneath I just said I muted that tweet immediately because he's the only one I need to say that to.
Yeah. I was just saying, even with the low numbers, aren't they still the highest of any show? Probably. I mean, CW's got like football and stuff nowadays, and I think those games do well, but they're probably still the most consistent and still the highest rate. Like, they're gonna draw numbers. All I'm pointing out is, since the NXT started, or since the TNA stuff started, the NXT numbers are down. Now they are, at least this past weekend, they were against the baseball playoffs, and like, they had Yankees and Red Sox to contend with. That's gonna draw. That's gonna do numbers. Dynamite's gonna take a hit on Wednesday whenever those numbers come out as well because of Yankees Red Sox. And I know TNA numbers aren't reported, but if they were, their numbers would take a hit last night for Game 3 and Yankees and Red Sox. So I understand that they're battling a tough time. Next week they're gonna have more playoffs to contend with. They're gonna have AEW to contend with, but it's been a fairly, like, the biggest one was they did Homecoming and then the numbers dropped after that. Although now it seems like the Nielsen ratings they're being calculated different. I saw Thurston's report on this, so I don't fully know what to believe on the ratings, and we're not people who put like a ton of stock into the ratings anyway. I'm more just looking at it if I'm CW and I'm seeing like this partnership and it's not doing maybe the gangbusters that you were hoping it was going to do. Like, do you think twice about it? Obviously, I don't think they are. I think they're going to go forward with it, but go ahead.
I especially don't think that they would take it away, because if you're paying NXT, let's say, I forget what the numbers are, but let's say it's 50 million for the show, and you're going to pay TNA a fifth of that, upwards of a fifth of that, maybe a tenth if you're lucky. It's probably okay. And they're on a sports kick. Like, they've got college football, they've got NXT, they've got NASCAR, which NASCAR, they've got that stuff. So this is an opportunity for them to just add another sports platform. TNA is not exactly, a big money deal for them, but it's a deal for them to get cheap programming that runs 52 weeks a year, and then TNA gets happy because they got a TV deal, and oh my god, the world is fixed and we're number 2. Volub saying, they're not going to move Law and Order. It's Law and Order Toronto. Even I can say they could move Law and Order Toronto. I will give them explicit permission to move Law and Order Toronto if they have to. And if it becomes like they keep it on Thursdays, then what are they? They're moving Police 24/7. So I don't know what show, if any, they'd be moving, but like, you've got other nights of shows that you can touch and you can move over. Like Penn and Teller Fool Us on Fridays, Master of Illusion.
They like that, so they're not moving that shows.
They do, but in terms of like a ratings getter, TNA could still outperform a lot of those shows just by being a live sports program.
Let's see what Thursday and Wednesday numbers are for CW. So this is last week. Thursday, they had, where's the CW? Okay. They had Police 24/7 from 8 to 10, and that drew a 400,000 viewers, 461,000, and a 0.04 demo rating on Thursday.
Honestly, 400 and a 0.04, TNA would love that.
And then on Wednesday, They have Law and Order, Criminal Intent. What is P? Is that like replay?
Where do
I,
you see P? This is on,
I'm on Programming Insider.
and
Oh,
you're on
Premiere. It's
Premiere.
Premiere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
Premiere.
because
Okay.
it's a new episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know if they'll move that, honestly, if it's something new. But they got
So
almost.
sorry, worth saying they're a season behind because in Canada
Oh,
I think we're season 2 already.
okay. And this deal's not kicking in until 2026 anyway.
Alleged.
That yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, if it happens, like it wouldn't kick in until 2026. So they have plenty of time to shift the schedule around. But it drew about 600,000, not bad. 600,000 and a .03 demo. And then the following show, Wild Cards, was a pretty big drop off. It was 344,000 and a .02 on the demo. So I if it's not like a new show, well, I guess Law and Order Toronto is, but you said it's a
They're a season
season
behind.
behind. Okay.
The first season was last year, and
Okay.
now they're catching up.
Gotcha. Like I again, it's 2026 is when this deal would kick in. You know what I mean? Like they can move stuff around before then. They can run out the rest of the year and then figure out the schedule. And that's what they're we'll see if that's what happens or not. I've always said I've said it's going to end up on Wednesday just because I thought that was WWE's play the entire time is that this is what they wanted to do. And people saying it does nothing for the CW network.
But it doesn't matter because you're pulling up the numbers right now for the shows that they're already running, and they're going to get similar ratings for TNA based on just wrestling being on a known station. Like we can't really take the numbers that TNA has now because they're running on Access. Fewer homes are getting it. Nobody knows where Access is. In Canada, it's doing fine in a certain degrees, but like they need to get it off of TNA Plus. They need to get it off of YouTube. They're trying to get it onto a major platform. And if they go to CW, they'll probably see that 400,000 mark fairly regularly, maybe 350. But again, the creative also needs to beef up. But that's a TNA problem, less a CW problem. They won't care about counter programming because I don't think they know or care that Dynamite is on at the same time on TNT, right? So for them, it's cheaper product for them to put on their television.
Yeah, I'm sure they know. I mean,
I'm sure they're aware, but I don't think they're as entrenched in the conversations as we would be.
yeah, I don't think that these networks again care as much until it does hurt the numbers because USA didn't care. USA was just like, yeah, NXT Wednesdays live. We're just gonna keep it there because that's what it's been. NXT's been on Wednesdays, and then the ratings suffered, and then it was like, okay, well, we need to try to get this off of here, and then they moved it to Tuesdays. But I don't think CW really cares until numbers come out, and then they might start caring. Like, all right, Wednesdays ain't working for us. We gotta put this somewhere else. Maybe we will move it to Thursdays. But Matthew's saying CW do what's best for it, not some stupid war. But I don't think CW knows what's best for it in this case.
They see cheap sports programming.
Yeah.
And they see how their numbers are and what they could be, and they place it based on that. That's how they schedule it. And honestly, if you're running opposite another wrestling program, I don't think they see it as much as counter programming. They see it as just, oh, it's competition. And we like competition. We're a network, so let's run competition. It's the same as like running the Friday night blocks of comedy back when the networks would do it. ABC would do it, NBC would do it, all the majors would do it because they were all competing for eyeballs. So if you have a better program, and again, that is subjective because that's what entertainment is. Some people are going to gravitate to TNA, some people are going to gravitate to AEW, some people are going to watch both at different times, and that's why you have DVR numbers, that's why you have stream numbers, that's why there's +3, +7, +5. That's kind of the point of the ratings discourse, is that the same day ratings are not really an indicator of how successful something is as much as it is, here's a number. These people watched, but I'm more curious about what happens in 7 days. Do more people pick it up? Are more people inclined to watch the show later than they are live? What's the intent? Are they actually interested, or are they skipping through the show? There's a reason for it, but I don't know. I see them going to Wednesday, and part of it is because they'll then put me out of my misery, and I'll do the post show will have to change based on that. But yeah, that's what I expect. I just don't know when it'll be announced. Maybe Bound for Glory. If we get, I swear to God, if we get the greenish blue Bound for Glory card and it says Carlos Silva has a huge announcement,
Oh boy.
I am going to scream. Just copying homework now. If I see it, I will be screaming. It would be so funny. But it's kind of what I expect, to be honest with you. But yeah, that's just what it is. Again, I don't care about counter programming. I don't. Again, this is just they're going to try it and they're going to be CW is going to be happy. Again, they're paying a fraction of what they would be paying WWE, and they're getting more live first run content, which they don't have a lot of other than sports. More sports, they're happy.
Yeah. We'll see if they score from the 30, if they can continue to move the ball, and we'll see how quickly they can get it done, since Carlos was hoping Bound for Glory, and here we are about a week out from Bound for Glory, and they're on 30, so we shall see. Zeno, I was saying, if not CW, who would be the second option? Amazon, maybe. I mean, Amazon is into sports. They got football. They maybe have NBA. I'm not positive.
I don't think they want streaming. I don't think that, unless it's the PLEs, which may be going to Peacock because that's where NXT is. I don't think they want streaming. I think they want their television to live on a television system. Traditional
TNA. You're talking about TNA.
TNA. Yeah.
Okay.
Talking about TNA. Sorry, did I say someone else?
No. I was just clarifying.
Okay. Yeah. I think that TNA has a plan to be on a television provider, on a television system, and not exclusively to streaming, because the deal might not be as formidable going one versus the other.
Yeah. I that would make sense for TNA wanting to stay on a platform like that, or stay on a TV deal and not going to streaming on there. And I don't know how much streaming helps on that kind of stuff. I mean, we see the numbers every week for Raw, and like they're fine, but ain't like they've converted millions of new fans just because they're on Netflix,
And again, this is the conversation that we're talking about, the 5-day, 3-day, 5-day, 7-day delay. We get night after for global Raw viewership, right, from Tadam, and it's what, 2.3, 2.5 million on the level. What happens after 7 days?
It's not night after though. It is 7 days after for Netflix. Yeah, because it's always a week
after.
No, it's always a week late with Netflix. Like the Raw numbers for this week won't be out until next week, so it's always a week late because it is the 7-day viewership with Raw.
Well, there you go. Big man pointing out, by the way, that you don't get to channel surf on streaming. Yeah. And that's a good point. If you're sitting around and you're just aimlessly switching stations, and all of a sudden you see wrestling, and maybe you're like, oh, I haven't seen TNA since Jeff Jarrett. I don't know. But who knows? Maybe they just haven't seen it, and they're just like, oh, let's see what this is about. Or it's wrestling. This is wrestling. And maybe you've seen AEW a bunch, and maybe it wasn't for you. And then you see TNA and you're like, oh, this is different. I'll give it a shot. And good enough. You're there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours. They are happy to get your patronage based on that. But yeah, channel serving is definitely a good point to this.
Yeah, we've lost the art of channel surfing with all the streaming service. I mean, that's how I discovered wrestling, was channel surfing. My dad was just flipping through channels, and then it was Clash of Champions. It was Arn Anderson and Ric Flair against Vader, and it popped on as he was flipping channels. I was like, oh, what's this? And my dad kept it on, and I was hooked, and I was like, oh man, wrestling is pretty cool. And the rest is history, I guess. But yeah, you don't have that nowadays with all these streaming services and people cutting cords, because like we don't have any cable TV here in our home. It's all different services, or if I need, like, the only real app I need is USA to watch to watch SmackDown, but I use my friend's TV provider to just watch on the app, so I don't get to channel surf in that way. So we've lost the art of channel surfing and just discovering new things in that way. And people are saying that TikTok and Instagram Reels is the new channel surfing. I guess I'm not on TikTok.
Even that's fed to you as an algorithm, so it's already stuff that you've been looking at or interested in and that you care about. The internet's a vast, disgusting place with, you know, quadrillions, quintillions of content, stuff that you'll see, stuff that you'll never see. It's kind of what's interesting about it, and the stuff that hits is, you know, it's what gets put into your ears, stuff you're interested in based on your search habits, based on what you're watching already. It's just fed to you. It's just fed to you. That's all it is. You like this, therefore you'll like this. It's that the joke that people make about, like, you talk about, you know, oh, I really like Tide Pods. Oh, I should probably get some Tide Pods. And then like 2 days later, guess what you're being sent on Instagram ads? It's Tide Pods are on sale. That's the way it goes. So B-Meister saying I would watch TNA on MTV if it replaces 24/7 ridiculousness. But that's the thing.
Still,
it's cheap replayable content.
Yeah.